Hello, watch lovers. You know what time it is. It's Monday, it's 8 o'clock, and here, as usual, we have Janilda.
Hello, everyone.
Kaylee.
Hi, guys.
And Gavin.
How you doing, Spence?
Very good. How are you?
Well, I want to know if you're missing Paul.
Not at all. It's actually been very quiet.
Have you quite enjoyed the peace of quiet?
But tonight on the way here, he goes, "What's happened? You haven't phoned me."
Yeah,
I did speak to him. And hello there, Paul. I know you told me you're going to a bar in Alicante to make sure that you keep in touch with what's going on.
I had the pleasure of watching him eat a pizza this afternoon.
Yeah, he was on live.
Yeah. That's what my life has come to. I've now resorted to watching you, Paul, eating a pizza. It comes up as a notification on my phone, and there was I straight in there. And yeah,
Gavy's had amazing weather there, hasn't he?
It did look very, very beautiful.
No, it's terrible.
Is it terrible?
It's been terrible.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Well, luckily he's got Mrs. T there to keep him occupied. I'm sure they've been playing Scrabble or something. Spencer, by the way, the GIMP mask looked really good on you. I know it's supposed to be a Batman mask, but one of yours, was it?
The one from New York.
Yes, everybody, welcome to Monday night, 8 p.m, That Watch Guy London. Great to have you all with us. Names are far too many to mention, but it's great to have everybody with us on a Monday night. As you know, or you may not know, girls, what's being released on Friday?
Batman.
The Batman. The
Batman.
I don't know about you, but I'm a little bit super excited to go and see it. Spencer,
You're a big fan, aren't you?
I might have to go and pinch a watch to wear it. That might be like a little double dealer, yeah.
Do you think everyone will sit there with a Batman?
With a Batman?
Yeah.
Probably a toy watch rather than a Batman. Speaking of watches, Kaylee, what are you sporting this evening? Show it up for your camera.
I've got a Daytona 16520 Zenith.
Oh, Zenith now. Oh, we've moved up.
Zenith. Beautiful.
Zenith.
Janilda, what are you sporting?
I am wearing a rose gold Datejust with diamonds and what we call a Jubilee dial with all the Rolex writing.
Very
Very lovely. Spencer, what do you got?
I bought because you moaned at me the last couple of weeks that I've forgotten, the second watch. This was the first Rolex I ever owned.
Right.
Yeah. So I put this on. This isn't what I normally wear, but I think in 20 years' time, we're all going to be wearing one of these. It is a 68273 mid-size, going back to, I think, 1987.
1987.
But I used to have this on a white Roman numeral dial.
Okay. Going back even further than that, we discussed it a few weeks ago.
And that is...
And we forgot about it. But actually, that...
I thought that was...
What on earth? And I'm going to put it in front of the camera here. Spencer, seriously, how old were you when you bought this?
Hang on, that was a long time ago.
No, I don't care how long ago it was.
85.
Taste and style doesn't change, Spencer.
I was 18.
What's the friggle is
at
that?
the time. I thought that was quite a nice watch.
You were 18 and you thought this was a nice watch. Okay, I'm just going to test this because your wrist probably hasn't changed very much since you were 18, okay? Let's have a little look. Spencer, would you put this on your wrist?
I think it's more a woman's watch.
Oh, it's definitely a woman's watch, Spencer.
Oh, now
I want to know, and when you put this on this wrist, on your
As
wrist,
you know, Nico slaughtered me the other day when I showed him
I
this
know.
piece.
We'll get to that in a second. We'll get to that in a second.
Yeah, it's not really... I just thought it was quite an elegant piece.
Right,
like
so
a
let's
bracelet.
just put it back on your
Here we
wrist
go.
and just think, what were you thinking when you put this on? You thought, I'm 18 years old. That's a corker. You got it on?
I'll tell you what it was.
Hold it up so everyone
Let me
can
tell
see
you,
it.
back in those days, I used to sell Raymond Will, and people who know those watches, they done some super thin watches. And that
Hold it up
was...
so everybody can see your camera.
Okay. I think
It's that one straight ahead of you.
It looks bigger
Yeah.
in the camera.
Oh, it
That's far
doesn't.
from
Come
big.
on. It looks like a
It's far
5-pence
from
piece
big.
on your wrist.
But years ago, going back 80s and 90s, thin watches were all the rage. Do you remember the...
Yeah,
Raymond
but Spencer
Will?
so was having hair. I had hair in 1987. I didn't go for a thin watch.
So there we
It's
are.
beautiful.
Go on, I have my Pepsi back, actually.
Oh, hold on a second. Is no one going to ask me what I've got on?
Sorry,
Go on.
what have you got on?
Go on.
Gary?
Wow. Okay, so I've got something very special on today, Spencer. I'd like to say it's unique. It's not unique, but you wouldn't have seen it. I have the Casio G-Shock Rubiks Cube. Okay, got released a couple of weeks ago. One of our viewers very kindly pointed out that it was going to be released, and so I rushed out. And not that you're going to be selling these, Spencer, but it's a Rubik's Cube.
I could do that
in a
back-
G-Shock.
Could you do that back in
No.
The girls here probably don't even know.
I know what a Rubik's Cube is. I
Yeah,
could
we
never
never-
do
have
it.
you ever done it?
Yeah, I could never finish. I could never.
I'm
do
going to
it.
never
shine a
finished
light.
that.
Isn't it funny that I've made the most special watch, the G-Shock, out of all your lovely watches? Now, interestingly enough, I know there's some people out there who likes little G-Shocks and bits and pieces. And whilst I was wondering, because I always think of our viewers, and I thought to myself, what a nice present it might be for somebody. Because I didn't buy one. Oh,
Oh,
You broke.
bada bing. I bought two.
That's so cool. What it comes in.
Yeah,
Did it come with a cube?
Well, here's
oh,
the
you
thing.
can have it in black
Here's the
too.
thing. It's a multi. It's got a black face.
So you can change
and a
the
white.
frame.
And yes, it's a Rubik's Cube. Now, if you were lucky enough to get one from the London store, you actually got a Rubik's Cube with it. I ordered mine online, went to the London store, and of course, I just thought there'd be millions of them, but they'd sold out. So, do you want to have a little look? There you go, Spence, have a little look.
I think it's cool,
It's very cool.
Now, everybody knows I love a really complicated competition. Next week, Spencer, you're going to be away, aren't you?
Yep.
So Spencer's away
I'm
next week.
skiving
Spencer's
off for the
going.
week.
He's skiving off. He's doing a bit of skiing with his family. Make sure you come back in one piece. And we've got a little surprise takeover going on. And on that surprise takeover, Spencer, just pass me the watch back.
Is that the?
That's not the surprise. No,
Go on.
we got Paul and
Oh.
it's. By the way, it's Paul Thorpe and I are taking over the channel next week, or Paul is. I am going to be giving this watch away next Monday evening. It's a really simple competition. I'm going to pick a number and write it in an envelope, and the person that's closest to my number is going to win this. It'll be posted out the next day to you. I think it's a really nice
What
little prize.
happens if two people?
There's no
the
two
same
people who are going to get close.
Say two people come up with the same number.
Yeah.
I'll get another. They can have mine.
Cut the watch.
They can have mine.
Okay.
I think I'm going to do numbers 1 to 500 because we usually get about 200 people watching. So 1 to 500. And I'm going to give that away next week on the show. So do tune in. And let's see how you get on with that. How's the week been, Spencer? We're going to talk about in a second about who came in to visit, but how's the week been?
Well, last week, as you know, we had someone in to visit, which turned the place a bit upside down.
Yeah.
But all good fun.
Yeah.
Tuesday, I was out on a live with Paul for about.
You had a little
3
walk
hours.
around, didn't you?
We had a walk round. We done the whole of Bond Street, Piccadilly, all of Mayfair, back round Dover Street, popped into the casino, got bored.
You didn't
Then-
live stream from the casino,
No,
surely.
they
not.
wouldn't let us, obviously.
There's a shocker.
But it was dead in there. So then
Yeah.
we left there, and then we walked around Berkeley Square, had a look at Rolls Royce, Bentley, Ferrari.
Yeah. Paul, buy
They were
anything?
closed, so we couldn't buy anything.
No.
And then we both had a coffee and sat outside for about 45 minutes.
In the freezing
and-
cold, keeping
in
each
the
other
cold. And, yeah.
That's what life
And we
has
got
come
a few viewers coming by. But yeah, it was good fun.
Yeah, so Heavenly Mark's just put up on the chat. Imagine bumping into you, Gavin, Carnaby Street on the day. I was walking into Carnaby Street, I turned a corner and I hear, oi, oi, and it was Mark. And I was just going down to the store to buy the watches, but they sadly sold out. So I got that one quite wrong. Guys, if you do have any questions for the team, please do pop them in the comments. I'll do my very best to start looking through everything. And do give us a lovely upvote. We do love a bit of that, so do help us out there. Now, let's talk about who came to visit this week before we get onto the subject of watches.
Sure.
We had
So we had our
a little fella come in to see
little
us.
fella from Northern Ireland under the name of Nico.
Yes, indeed.
He came to see us, turned the office upside down.
Okay.
So
Whirlwind.
That was on. So I saw him on Tuesday night for dinner with Paul.
Yeah.
So we went out to eat to Rocker.
Yeah.
So that was about an 8 o'clock. We walked round Selfridges and caused absolute havoc in there. Then went over to Rocker, and we didn't leave there till it was just before midnight time we'd left.
And then I saw you Wednesday. He was at
he came
BQ.
into the office. Yeah.
And then Wednesday night we all had dinner together.
We had dinner again.
Yeah.
And then he came back. We had a breakfast meeting Friday.
Yes.
Because he was over for the GQ Awards
Yes.
on Thursday night, which he said was good fun. He didn't win anything, but it was just to be invited.
Speaking of winning, there was a table tennis competition.
Yes.
How did you get on?
I won.
I walloped him. I walloped
We
him.
both
He
beat him
gave,
at
he gave
ta-
it the big one. I walloped him.
And he was at, and then we both beat him at Paul as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Then
Yeah.
you should have
So
stopped.
Nico, remember that. Anytime you want a rematch, we're here for you.
Absolutely. Now, what's going on with you and Nico? You're doing a little bit of business together.
We're doing some stuff on watches.
Yeah.
He's going to put up on his channel. He's come to us. He was quite impressed with our stock
Yeah.
and what we have and selection, and feels that he can benefit from the use of some of that stock.
Yeah.
So we are going to be doing some stuff with him.
Fantastic.
He also gets some great things offered.
Yeah.
So I think it'd be good on both sides.
Absolutely. I think collaboration is key, isn't it,
Yeah.
in life, Kaylee?
Yes.
Yeah. Collaboration is key. I'm just saw you looking at yourself on the
Sorry.
on the telly box. Fantastic. Okay. Let's have a little look, because when Nico came in, he sat with you girls. We have a little bit of an unboxing to do at some point, but he had quite a nice watch, and let's see how that panned out.
This is the late 40s, early 50s Datejust. This is one of the earliest Datejust ever produced. In 1945, Rolex introduced the Datejust, and that was on the 40th anniversary of Rolex. They introduced the Datejust, and to celebrate that, they introduced the Jubilee bracelet. The name Jubilee, celebration, yay. And it's really cool. This is a reference number 5030 in an absolutely incredible condition. It's the best conditioned 5030 I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So fair play.
excellent.
And I'm fucking wearing it.
Kaylee, I love your face there. Kaylee, your face was a bit like... And to be fair, let's give credit where credit's due. Very, very knowledgeable.
Yeah, very. He
Yeah.
knows a lot.
He really does know his stuff on the watches. 100%.
He actually is a watchman. Do you know that? He was explaining to me he can take a watch apart and service on like an Audemars.
Really?
And I'll put my hand up. I can't do that.
No.
Yeah.
Wow.
I've never had the time to learn. I probably could, but I
Yeah.
haven't learned how to do it.
Watches 63 said you had an advantage. Nico can't reach the table for table tennis. Spencer's not far behind him, to
There's
be
not
fair.
much in it, let me tell you.
To be fair. That's a stunning watch, Spencer, isn't it? That's gorgeous. Was that 1949, wasn't it?
49.
48, 49.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful
One of the
piece.
first Datejusts.
Yeah, absolutely stunning. Now, we've titled the show this week The Batman because of the Batman release that's coming out this week, which is, as I said at the top of the show, super excited to see. And that leads us very nicely into some watches we brought along today. Spencer, tell us what we brought in and why.
We have here the 116710, which was the Batman, the first one. This came out, would I be right in saying about 13, 14?
2013,
Yeah.
Baselworld. Let's have a look. Let's pop this in front of the camera.
So
Can I take
again,
it all
this-
out of its...
Yep. This was hugely popular, but back in the day, it wasn't that much more than the black.
Right.
There
Yeah.
wasn't much in it.
Meaning...
In terms of, the difference is the blue writing and the bezel.
Right. And it's got...
Sorry,
a,
and the hand. It's the hand.
okay.
So, obviously, it was a slight...
Now, this is called a Batman because...
Because the blue and black... Well, it's not...
Well, let's bring up a picture of Batman.
Let's just go back, though. Batman is nothing to do with Rolex. It
No,
wasn't called
they
the
never
Batman.
used that.
It was just a blue and black bezel.
Yeah.
But it got named and is now referred to as the Batman
Okay.
Yeah, because of
by the
bezel.
public.
But-
But you won't find it mentioned.
No,
by
I
Rolex.
know. But, a yellow probably would have gone well for a Batman, wouldn't it? More than a blue and a black. And not for me to argue with the whole entire planet. So this is reference number
116710.
116710 BLNR. Black Lunette Noir.
Wow.
Is that it? I remember that from one of the shows.
Hilda, help us with the French side of things.
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, blue and black lunette.
Yeah.
noir.
Yeah, there we go. There's another Batman popped up right next to you, Janilda. Look. Yeah.
Oh,
Right, and then let's move on
and then
to
what happened?
Yeah.
That was discontinued, and they brought out the 126710.
What year was it discontinued? How many years of like a gap was it? Because it wasn't long until they released the next one.
I would have to check. I think
Okay,
about
I can probably
19.
check because I think
20.
I think it is
I think it's
2019.
19.
Yeah, thinking of my notes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So in 19, what happened was they discontinued that and they brought it out on the Jubilee. Now, the Jubilee was always referred to as the wrong bracelet.
Right.
Whenever you used to get a Jubilee bracelet, it was considered no one liked it. It was the wrong bracelet. It shouldn't have been on the watch. I mean, it did exist, but people never used to like it. But when they changed this with the flip lock there, they done a fantastic job. And I've worn this watch and the Pepsi as well. And I think the style, the feel, it's just incredible. And to be honest with you, changed from the Oyster to
Right.
this. But then what happened was, if you wanted an Oyster bracelet, you had to buy the white gold. So at the time, that was like 30 odd there.
Right. So
At
made
the
it.
time,
Yeah.
so they made the Oyster bracelet. You had to buy white gold, which was 3-4 times the money. And then as we know, in 21, they brought out the 126710. Again, some people say...
Let's put them up here to compare them,
Sure.
shall we?
Do you want them over there?
Let's pass one over because...
Some people say it was Rolex's indirect way of accepting they made a mistake. But again, Rolex is silent, so you'll never actually hear the reasoning
Okay, I'm going to pop
of
my
why
microphone.
they did.
Spencer, just talk me through these watches. I'm going
So that's the 1167.
So that's the two, basically, the two models that are the same, but obviously different years,
different
and different
reference.
reference numbers. And do you know what? Can you
I
explain
believe
the
the
differences?
movement was upgraded
Yeah,
on the newer one.
yeah.
But besides that, I think it is more or less identical.
Oh, I can
Yeah.
see
And
something.
a blue.
Same size.
Go on.
Okay.
The size
I
definitely.
feel like we're playing spot the difference, but there's a blue hand, another blue hand. No,
Yeah,
no, there
and
isn't. Ignore
also,
me.
No, they
there
both
is.
got
believe-
blue
No,
hands.
no.
I believe. Hold on a
the second
second.
one?
Hold on. Yeah, so on the bottom, underneath the 6, where the 6 would be, between the word Swiss made on the newer one, you can see is the Rolex crown.
The crown.
Oh,
The
okay.
crown's
Yeah, the
on
crown's there, and it's not there on
the older
On
one.
on
The
the older
old.
one. And I believe that these are the lugs, right?
Yeah.
I believe they're slightly fatter on here. Well, it looks it anyway.
On what one?
On the older one. Trying to do this without. But guys, if you know a little bit about this, do pop in the comments. Which one would you be having? Let's have a look at the Jubilee as well, because Jacob just got one of these, didn't he?
Yeah.
He got the call, and
I
there's
think the shoulders are identical.
are they?
Hmm.
Okay. It looks slightly. That looks. Oh, it could be the angle of the camera. That looks slightly fatter to me.
You wouldn't necessarily notice, would you?
No, there's not.
Yeah,
a
like you
lot.
say,
not.
Upgraded
Exactly.
movement, absolutely. Easy link adjustment on all of them.
I think you had.
Yeah, I think on the older models was a super case, slightly fatter lugs, and the current are slightly
There
more
we go.
tapered.
There's the.
Let's have a look
Can
at
I
that.
see the older one actually?
Of course you can. Junior, will you just hold the stand for me?
Sure.
There we go. You take that, and I'll pop that in. Guys, let us know. What do you think? Is this? I wouldn't be what for
Look,
me.
it's very,
necessarily.
very minimal of difference.
Yeah.
So
No,
this is
it's
same
got
model
the
Greggy Boy says lugs didn't change. There you go.
and again it has got the glide lock.
Yeah.
They both got so they've all got the glide lock.
Yeah, Mark's saying same as the 1266, but there's one says crown at 6 o'clock.
It's the only
Better power reserve. Yep.
Yeah, that's on the newer movement. You got
Yep.
72 hours.
72 hours.
72
yeah.
hours. Oh, yeah. So, guys, pop in the comments. Jubilee or Oyster? What do you prefer? What would be your... I would be Oyster all day long.
Jubilee. All day long.
You'd be Jubilee.
Yeah.
Here you go.
And a question for you. I'd like the viewers to answer this, actually, because I asked you earlier, Spencer, and we kind of didn't know. But I've had some people refer to, when we've done videos on these before, some of the viewers have referred to this as the Bruce Wayne, which is the...
Not the John Wayne, Bruce Wayne.
Definitely
Well, his
Bruce
brother.
Wayne. It's Batman, isn't it? But it's Bruce Wayne.
Okay.
So you call this the Batgirl, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You call it the Batgirl, and I believe maybe Americans. I'm just guessing that maybe some of our American cousins call it the Bruce Wayne.
Possible, but what
possible.
we hear usually is Batgirl.
Yeah.
Referred
Yeah.
to
Yeah,
that.
but
We're
guys,
back-
if anybody
Batgirl
knows the
and
answer
Batman.
to that, then do
If you
give
want
us
to
a
show
shout.
the other one, though,
Yeah,
actually show both the Jubilees.
yeah.
Now, we've discussed this many a time. I think the thing that is missing here, the Coke.
Yeah. 100%.
Wow.
So here we have the Pepsi. You got the Batman. Where's the Coke? It's in the safe at Rolex. They designed it 4 years ago. And I think 2022, Watches and
Could
Wonders, that will be announced. And then we have mentioned, if they were really brave, they could bring out a Lucozade.
Someone
there
said
could
an
be a
iron
green.
brew.
There could be a green.
Geezer's asking who calls it Bruce Wayne. Geezer, there's a fella's been piping up on the channel when we've posted up stuff, and he does put it in there a lot, saying, I don't know where you're getting Batgirl from. That's called a Bruce Wayne. And I'm just
Never,
don't.
ever.
I maybe I'll ask him which
That's
country he's from.
interesting,
But
'cause
yeah,
back
it's interesting.
We hear about the
Yeah.
old
I've
man.
never ever heard Bruce Wayne
No.
ever.
No, I haven't.
You girls?
Never.
No.
Never.
No.
No.
I'd probably say
Greggy said, I think Archie started Bruce Wayne, but now he doesn't.
Oh, by the
allow
way,
anybody to say
Archie is coming over to see us.
Okay.
Archie, if you're on there, we're looking forward to seeing you. Where have we got? 3 weeks from now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Beautiful, beautiful watches, Spencer. And what's happening to the price of these currently? Steady as she goes?
No, I wish they were steady. Just going up
Crazy.
about £1,000 a week at the moment.
Is that what it feels like?
Yeah.
Okay. Beautiful. They're gorgeous watches. I'm not sure I'd have one, funnily enough. I will wait for the
Okay.
Coke. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to bide my time.
Gav, you've leaked it now. Rolex told us, remember, they said, please don't tell everyone.
Don't
Just say you think the Coke's coming out,
Yeah.
but you've just leaked now
No.
that Rolex will get a bit
I
upset
think
with us.
I don't know. I've only been playing this guessing game for a whole year, and that's all everybody does is just guess. But I'm going to guess because only because I've got my heart set on it. Actually, that I think it's. I really hope it
And
does.
will there be anything else with a coloured bezel? What do you think?
With a coloured bezel,
Like a ceramic bezel.
Possibly.
So we've got, obviously, the Submariners. We've got the black and the green,
yep.
haven't we? What other colours do we think they
I'd
might?
like to see a purple somewhere along the line.
What, like Audemars have bought in?
Yeah, I do like purple.
Yeah.
Kaylee, what do you think colour-wise?
I don't know, because I feel like they're using all the, like, do you know what I mean? Like the bright colours on the OPs. So I feel like they'll probably bring out newer colours in them than necessarily a newer colour bezel.
That said, when we did a show, was it a couple of weeks ago, where we talked about, it was last week actually, how long it takes to make a watch, etc., etc., etc.
What, of Patek? and-
Yeah, but you know, same's got to go for. They must have discussed this years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that we're talking
Yeah,
about how
probably.
successful the OPs were,
They
and that
thought
was
that.
2 years ago, wasn't it? The OPs, because they didn't bring anything new in 21 for the OPs.
Yeah.
So maybe it's a double colorway. Guys, are you going to go and see the new Batman film?
I mean, are we, Kaylee?
Shall
Well,
we?
we're not having a BQ night out at the cinema. James, should we have a,
Good.
should we
No,
take a
I
little,
talk
should we
too
take a little
much.
sneak peek at it? James, run the VT.
Really,
what
like in
what
red,
Batman
can't we?
can you name? Spencer, come on, let's start at the beginning. Who was the first Batman?
Couldn't tell you.
You can.
I can't.
The 1966 Batman,
Couldn't tell you.
Adam West.
Couldn't tell you.
You couldn't tell me. All right, Adam
Oh.
West. Guys, let's put in the comments, how many Batmen do we know? How many do you think there were? Since 1966, how many Batmen?
22.
No, there hasn't been that many. No, there hasn't been that many.
12.
No, there hasn't been that many.
Oh.
5.
No, there hasn't been that many.
So
3 then. It's
No,
three.
there's been
No,
7.
7.
you just said there hasn't been that many to 5.
Well, 7. There's been 7. That's quite a lot. 7 different people playing Batman. When you think about how many different people have played Superman, it's probably 4. 4 in 50 years.
So,
Yeah. Anyway, we're going to run through them. Adam West, he was the
Right.
original Batman.
So
Then
when
you
was
had
the first one? 66?
1966.
Oh.
Then you had Michael Keaton,
Yep.
who played Batman. Do you remember the
Okay.
music from that? That was done by Prince.
No.
Yep. Okay. He did Batman and Batman Returns. Then you had Val Kilmer. Remember him from the
Yes,
old
yes,
80s?
yes,
He was in
yes.
Top Gun, wasn't he? Yeah, he did like Batman Forever. Here's a weird one. George Clooney
I
played
had
Batman.
no idea. that he
George Clooney played
Batman.
Batman in Batman and
can't-
Robin
I can't
in
imagine him.
1997.
No.
That had Arnold Schwarzenegger in it and a few other people. Christian
Yeah.
Bale played Batman.
I know that.
I know that one.
He was a good Batman. Then we had Ben Affleck,
Yeah.
who played
love him.
Batman.
I like him.
And now we got pretty boy Robert Pattinson.
Okay.
What do you
That's
think?
interesting.
Do you think it's worth a look?
Yeah.
I mean, it's very very
They
It's a
all
bit
look-
like James Bond. Who would be your James Bond? I can see guys are writing down who their.
Go on, so who's
Favourite
your
one.
James Bond, Gav?
Well, for me, it would probably be Michael Keaton. Funnily enough, although I have to say my favourite actually, Michael Keaton, because I think that he was a good
Oh,
Batman.
for Batman, I'm saying who's your James Bond?
Oh, for me, Roger Moore.
Yeah.
Roger Moore. But actually, I think that Christian Bale did a very, very good job at a very dark Batman, which I thought
Yeah.
was very, very good. Batman has been around for a very, very long time. When do you think the first Batman comic came out? Really, you're going to be really surprised.
comic, not film.
Yeah, it was a comic. It was a comic first.
Yeah.
James, you got the cover?
50s?
1930.
Yeah, 1939.
Really?
Yeah, I think we got the first cover there. James is going to pop up on the screen.
That's quite incredible.
There we go. Detective Comics.
And
which
what,
then
May
got changed.
1939.
1939. That's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, that's basically
That's
at the
very,
start of the
very
Second
early.
World War. And Detective Comics was where it was published before he got his own comic called Batman. And Detective Comics eventually came DC. So you got DC and you've got Marvel.
Oh wow.
But yeah, that's all my knowledge there on Batman
Batman.
in about 10 seconds, to be perfectly honest. But no, it's going to be interesting. I mean, Watches of Wonders is only a few weeks away now, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I guess
we're still. Well, I've been banned because of Paul.
oh, you've been banned because of Paul.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think?
Well, it seems that way, but we're going to see what we can do. Going to try and do something.
Yeah. People are putting up their doubles here. Derek Fox is saying Ben Affleck and Daniel Craig. I think that means Craig. Yeah, it's interesting actually who people sort of do get into. Bale and Craig, best of both. I never used the Bruce Handel, Wayne Connecticut. I don't know what that is. Yeah, all sorts. But you were never really a superhero kind of
Not really
person,
my sort
Spencer.
of
I mean,
thing.
I've just,
No.
I'll ask you a million
James
questions.
Bond more.
James Bond more. I will have to do a show on James Bond
Harry
then
Potter.
eventually. Right, so that's 17 cards I'm now going to throw out the window because clearly you won't be able to answer one question. So,
Well, what's that question, Don?
About
Batman.
Yeah, well, you can ask the girls.
They're not going to know it.
No.
They're not going to know it. That's going to be the shortest show in history.
But we're going to go and see it.
Right, we're going to go to James. Let's move on to. Let me get my cards in
Go on,
order.
James,
so
do
I know,
one of your
so I
little
know
videos.
exactly where we are. We're going to go into competition. Want to sing the theme tune, don't you? Competition time. Okay. So as you know by now, we've been running the world's most complicated competition. We're going to simplify everything for you very, very soon. Let's see what today's letter of the day is. Of the day is the letter I. Now, Spencer, if you were a guessing man with 1 week to go, could you possibly guess what the word's going to be? Janilda, could you possibly guess what it's going to be?
I've forgotten the one from last week. Never mind 7 weeks
Well,
ago.
strangely, we're going to help everybody out at some point soon, but you might see scrolling across the screen in a second the magic word. Now, if you happen to spot a magic word scrolling across your screen, do scribble it
If you
down
can
very
see
quickly.
something.
That could be the word.
It could be the secret word that gets you
Maybe.
into our competition. Now, write it down, and all you have to do is simply email that to
It's getting
that
bigger.
watchguylondon@gmail.com to be entered into our competition. And seeing there's only 230 of you watching right now, and probably nobody on repeat, you got a very good chance of winning this beautiful, beautiful Speedmaster.
The Omega.
Speedy.
The Omega Speedy, which is going to be a fabulous prize for someone. I wouldn't
Yeah,
like to think
lovely.
that we've given the word away, but if someone happened to spot it,
Congratulations.
congratulations and get yourself
Lucky-
emailing. I
lucky
expect to
you.
see my inbox pinging
Yes.
any moment now. And that's going to be announced and pulled out by Paul Thorpe at the London Watch Show, which is now also just a few weeks away.
3 weeks away. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that on
Very soon.
Saturday or Sunday?
You can pick it out whenever
we
you want,
haven't. He
Spencer.
hasn't said.
We haven't
Okay.
kind of decided,
Oh.
but yeah. Adam Donnelly says that competition is harder than Tyson and Fury. And that's why we've made the next giveaway just a little bit simpler. Just guess a number. Yeah, absolutely. Amazing. So that's going to be our giveaway. That's going to be at the London Watch Show. Spencer, have you been stocking up for that? What's been happening?
Absolutely. Yep. The girl's been busy. We've been trying to buy it as much as we can and have a full selection.
Absolutely.
No, as hard as it is, we've got a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
What do you expect to be sellers? Is there any I mean, when you do these shows, obviously with the public there and retail there, is there something you're expecting to sell more
I
of?
don't want to give the word away, but it begins with an R and ends with an X. There'll be a lot of those being
Right,
sold.
okay.
Yeah. They're quite popular at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah? And the one beginning with a P and a P is quite popular as well.
Yeah, Jacob's...
PP.
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 Jacob, just really quickly, it's thatwatchguylondon@gmail.com is the email to that. Yeah. If you see the magic word, if you see the magic word, then thatwatchguylondon@gmail.com gets you entered, and Paul will be drawing it. Yeah, so you're going to have lots of watches. Stock-wise, what are you thinking of bringing?
400 or 500 pieces.
400. Wow. Okay.
Maybe a bit more. We'll have to have
Right.
a count up of everything that's ready. But yeah.
Is it
Try
hard
and
to
get
keep,
them
is it
ready.
hard at the moment, Janira, to keep hold of stock?
It's hard, and also it's hard to find stock sometimes, to find the watches that we
The other
used
difficulty, Hilda, we've
buy-
got, isn't it? We've got these things called customers
Yeah.
who
Yeah.
come along and they buy them, and then we've got to go and buy more. That's the
Yeah.
thing. We can't buy enough to keep these
We used
so-called
to have
customers
2 or 3
happy.
of every
Yeah.
model,
Yeah.
but now it's getting
Harder.
getting a bit
getting
thinner.
harder.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's all the usuals: the Hulks, the root beers, Daytonas, all the Daytonas.
I saw just before I came on air, Daytonas are like literally tipped up towards
Yeah.
50 grand
Yeah.
now or something, or is it 60 grand?
Yeah,
I can't even
50,
keep track.
60. The green Daytona, yellow gold on the green dial over 100,000.
Yeah, you can't get one for less
Just
than
can't get them.
100. It's just crazy.
Just can't get them. Aquanauts, Nautiluses, just
100.
Where does this all end?
Who
Kaylee,
knows?
where does it all end?
who knows.
Who knows?
Who knows the secret? Okay.
But the only thing I can say is it's going to be more tomorrow than it is today.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the only clue I can give you. Yeah,
well, I mean, that is definitely on trend.
that is
I've seen
that
all
is the
sorts
pattern
of.
of what's.
Geese is asking, do you have any Aquanauts in stock at the moment?
I
We
believe
do,
so.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did we do a whole show on
si-
it last week?
64, 67.
Yeah.
Still the Rose. Some are
Yeah.
going through the workshop, but we do have.
Yeah. No, interesting. Interesting, actually. It's interesting times. It's a bit unprecedented, isn't it? Even in the watch world. Because you've always seen steady climbs, haven't you? But the last few months has just been...
The last few
It's
months
just a
been
little bit of
crazy.
insanity, isn't it?
And the other thing for anyone watching out there, there are things that are photographed that go on the website, but we do a service where if there's something specific that you want, that you can call us and we put you down and we try and source that watch
Yeah.
for you.
Well, Bradders is asking a question. Watch Eric mentioned he's not seeing any customers pay the Daytona prices. Are you seeing this, or is it just traders paying these prices?
No, we're seeing.
No, we've got
You are, aren't you?
customers, yeah.
Yeah, because I remember when I was in earlier this week, or it's actually now last week, and I asked you the same question because I'm curious. I'm always curious
Yeah.
as to are things actually like, for example, let's just flip that around and talk about Tiffany OPs. Slip back yet?
Yeah, well, slip back. Yeah, they're at a more sensible level.
Right,
But, they're
But
still in the
whenever we get
20s.
one, and
but
we
they're
put
still
it
in the
up,
20s.
They're in
Yeah.
the 20s. When we put one up, it goes. And that's the thing now. We
Yeah.
get something, it goes up, and it sells.
Yeah.
But as I say, we do have a service where if you want something, you give us a call and we try and source the watch that you want.
Yeah. No, amazing, amazing. And just going back to Watches and Wonders, is there anything that you'd like to see, Spencer, apart from sort of the GMT Coke? Would you just love to see something new? Is that the point?
Yeah, something really different. It's really intriguing just to see what they've come out with.
That's the word, isn't it? It's all intriguing.
Yeah.
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 Because they are, I mean, let's face it, we've said this many a time, the work that goes into it and how secret they keep it. And they're not influenced by anything that anyone says.
No.
Yeah.
No.
General Wombo says, Spencer, please buy me a Platona.
Platona.
Platinum
I don't-
Daytona.
Platinum
Yeah,
Daytona.
I don't think your generosity extends that far, does it? Wow. That's amazing. When is the talk about the bubble bursting going to burst?
There's always the talk about it.
Yeah.
But the
But,
bubbles
And
doesn't
then,
burst.
then it doesn't
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah,
So
we've talked about this extensively over the past 5 months, and we've talked about the bubble. But actually, the economics of the bubble doesn't make any sense to me because there's a shortage of, or it feels like still a shortage of supply. Bubbles only happen when there's just too much stock and prices collapse because nobody will pay it. And it's people ask the questions: are people buying Daytonas? And you're saying they
People
are.
are buying everything. But the other thing, even with the Tiffany, that's probably something that went crazy. But then as they start dropping, people buy them. But now, with the level you see on certain even steel Daytonas, if they come down a little bit, people are just buying them. So they're not...
Yeah.
I don't think things are going to come down because people are coming to us and paying 25,000 for a root beer and saying, well, I may as well buy it now because I don't want to be paying 30.
Yeah.
yeah.
If you look at the trends of what's happened, everything has gone up. So what you do know is whatever you pay now,
Yeah.
however much it seems, it is cheaper than what it will
Yeah.
be next month.
Yeah.
And unlike stocks and shares, Gavin, the problem, not the problem, but of what's gone on now, you have more people who want the product than
Yes.
there is product.
Yes.
And the word
Yeah.
I use is economics.
Yeah.
It's just economics.
Yeah.
You have too many people who want the stock.
Brad is just saying Yachtmaster seems to be super hot at the moment.
Yachtmasters have gone
True.
crazy. We
Yeah,
said this
that's
the other
very,
day.
very true.
Is this going back
Yeah.
to sleepers? And I always think it's an ugly watch, a Yachtmaster, but personal opinion. Sorry if you own a Yachtmaster. But is that what's happening? Are people sort of starting to pick on, let's call it pick on, the things that have kind of been left behind a little bit? And Yachtmaster perhaps was in
For
that.
the Yachtmaster 2, someone said to me the other day, he feels it's sleeper. But people have got so much to go on now. There's so much that's gone on in the watch world now that everyone's an expert, as in, if something's discontinued, you know it's going to go up.
Yeah.
If something's a little bit offbeat that
Yeah.
didn't sell, then it becomes sought after. For example, Explorer 2s.
Yeah.
Explorer 2s, you were 10, 20 to 1 to a Submariner or a GMT.
Yeah.
But now people like them, they're a bit different.
Yeah.
And we've had a run on those the last few weeks.
Before we get to the questions from Instagram, I want to apologise to Jason Reese because he sent a really interesting question a couple of weeks ago and it was so big it wouldn't fit in the Instagram box. And he sent it to me and I forgot to read it out last week. I think I forgot to read it on 2 weeks on the trot. And I just want to run this past you because it's quite extensive, but I think it really ties into what we're talking about. So Jason Reese says, guys, as a result of investors, collectors, turning to Rolex more than before, I've seen an emergence of newly established grey market dealers. Okay. Have those dealers left themselves vulnerable by having expensive inventories, particularly with Rolex remaining so quiet over the past 18 months or so and with the introduction of exhibition only? Should they drop a bombshell change in strategy, it could tank some watches. I think it's like a two-part question. First of all, let's deal with all of a sudden every man and his dog is a watch dealer.
100%.
Yeah.
This.
Well, yes and no. What people have to look at is someone who's a watch dealer, look at the company, how long they've been going, do they have a VAT number, a company
Yeah.
number, what guarantees have you got of them? And look, you see a lot of groups on Facebook, all over Instagram, different people, and you've got to look at whether they really are, if there's a
Legit.
backbone behind them, and what will happen if there's a problem.
Yeah. Because
Actually-
my feeling is that they're the first people to get burnt.
Do you know something? Just bringing that up, I had a customer who sold me a number of watches to buy something else.
Yeah.
And he said, I've got something very special. It was, remember this last week,
Yeah.
a Daytona from Watches of Switzerland with an undated card. I said, lovely, bring it in. So he brings it in. We look at the card and all of his watches were perfect, full sets. So he's got this watch with a card. And I said, it's just not right. There's something not right. He goes,
Yeah, there was
"But
something off, wasn't
there's
there?
just something
Yeah.
off on the card. And anyway, my watchmaker's looked at it. I've looked at it. We've checked the watch. So the Daytona had a fake card. So on the back it said Watches Switzerland, but it was like writing on glass. Why it was undated? Because you couldn't write on it. But he thought he had something very special. What
Right.
he had was a Daytona with a fake card. So he said, well,
So the
what do
watch
I
was
do?
real, but the card was...
Yeah.
Correct. The watch was real. So the situation we had, he had bought the watch quite a number of years earlier.
Yeah.
And the differential to what he paid to what the watch was worth with the card now was £10,000. So he phoned the person up and they said, well, it's not my fault it's got a fake card. But again, it is the person he bought it from. It is their fault and it's their responsibility. But all they were willing to offer him, what do you think? How do you think this played out?
They were going to send it to Rolex and get a service card.
No, well, it's still no good because it still won't have the original card. They said, we'll give you your money back. But he had paid $14,000. The watch was now worth $25,000.
Right.
So he said, I didn't buy it. What I bought was a watch with a card,
And that's what I
and that's what I want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he wasn't interested. And the dealer he was speaking with was a little bit, well, it's not my problem. You know, I thought, but with us and with good grey market dealers, you guarantee what you sell. So if that had come from me, first of all, I'd like to think that we would check it and it wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
But if it did, and it was a 2015 Daytona, take the watch back, replace it with a new watch with
Yeah.
a card.
With the
Yeah.
card.
So this is what you have to ask yourself with some of these dealers. what will they do in 3, 5, 7 years' time if there's a problem?
Russell, the mad watch collector, says, I don't get any of these problems buying my Casios. Russell, you weren't here for the start, but nor do I, my friend. Nor do
Card
I.
is always
Yeah,
right.
my card's always right. It's so once again by the dealer.
Yeah, 100%.
By the dealer. But when we were in Miami, and we were in New York, and we were wandering out all these places, and I saw lots of people running around, maybe not with a watch here or there trying to trade. And I do kind of get the feeling that if there's any kind of tick down in this market, and they've got one or two pieces, they're just trying to trade on. I feel like these are the guys who are going to get. So you're an established business of 30 years. You know what you've done, ups, downs, lefts, rights, and obviously clearly funded as a business. To have somebody who's running around with a couple of watches trying to trade from watch to watch, but any tick down in a big piece, and they're going to come unstuck.
But they haven't checked every watch with us, and this is what takes time. A watch from being bought to being sold can be several weeks if we've got to do work on it, check it. But we do that before we buy it. A lot of people buying these pieces just buy them and sell them.
Yeah.
So they don't really have much knowledge about the watch. They just take. We had a guy in today, didn't we, who won a watch in a competition.
Oh,
who
yeah.
came in.
Yeah.
Giant comment from Frank Brennan. Couldn't agree more. The Wall Street crash was never going to happen till it happened. The Titanic was never going to sink until it happened. Andrew Windsor was never going to settle for a woman until he settled. It's true. No one here can foresee because it's so strong. But like anything, and I think, being realistic, I don't think it's a bad thing at some point to sort of, to cool the top.
Level
for
off
things to level off, absolutely.
Yeah, not necessarily
they
drop,
can't
but
run
like just
away
calm.
forever.
I mean, we
at
had a
least
number
2
of
weeks.
years where month on month things sold for the same price.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Here,
we can't
Brada
do that
says,
week on week.
Brada says, I was looking at a 116718 LN, and it had a dial change from black to green, but the date wheel was still green. Spotted it, but the dealer wasn't forthcoming until I confronted them. Maybe they didn't spot it.
Mistakes
Maybe.
do happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Roly Mania, I'm late to the show, loving the Rubiks, Gav. Oh, thanks. I'm going to show it to you again. Yeah. I'll always come up with some standards. Oh, by the way, if you missed the front of the show, tune in next week to win another one. Yep. Really simple competition. Have a little look back and you'll see how to win this. But yeah, just guess a number next week. Numbers 1 to 500 and have a little go at that. Zoom Wheels Brian says, Watch Guy London. That's you, Spencer. Do you see
that watch guy?
Yeah. Do you see the Blueberry Sub white gold going up?
Love that watch.
You do, don't you?
Love that watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think it's sort of 36, 40,000 thereabouts. But again, I prefer that to the new 126619.
Yeah.
That's the 11 reference with the blue dial, blue bezel. Equally, I prefer the Hulk, the green dial, green bezel.
Yeah.
Where are they price-wise now, Kaylee? Roughly speaking.
25, 26?
25, 26.
And
Wow.
actually, the newer model is cheaper, isn't it?
The
Yes.
start.
Yeah.
But to be fair, the newer model has also gone crazy. So it used
And
to
they're
be
difficult to.
you can't get them. They're like now like 20, 21.
Yeah. But the Hulk is... You've got a Hulk, haven't you, Gavin?
So some may say. 4CD says a lot of these individuals won't be around in a few years. Yeah.
True.
Here's another interesting question, actually. I went in to see, cappuccino and cake run to my
James
local
and
AD.
Donuts.
One
Yeah.
of them.
Donuts. I'm trying to get my way. And we got talking. Or actually, I found a really nice lady.
Core
and-
pieces you got to buy. Remember that.
Yeah, no,
Or some
none of
jewellery?
that. No, Spence. Honestly, none of that. No, it was all
Okay.
good. It's all good. I'll let you know. I'll keep you posted. Fingers crossed. Everything's crossed. Will a Tudor Black Bay 925 be worth anything? Are Tudors starting to firm up a little bit?
The chronographs have become a bit more popular.
Yeah.
But they won't move that much. They're thereabouts of list a little bit
Yeah.
more.
They're
There's a
about
few
2.5.
models. The silver we've got in stock, not huge.
Black
They're
Bays and
available.
the Chronos are the most popular ones.
Yeah.
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 And is it the FXD?
D.
Oh, yeah,
Yes.
and
That's trading roughly 2.5 above list, I
That's
think.
the
about
moment,
£5 grand.
yeah.
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 At the moment. But still hard to get. Not so it's not
No.
like you can walk into one and
No.
and get one. And let's have a look at some of the other comments that's coming through. Matthew Hayes, been on the wait list for a Panda Tudor Bay Chrono for over a year. crazy what's happening with timepieces. So how far over list is that, for example, roughly speaking?
I think we sold about 4,500 lists
So-
around 4, but we've had quite a few of them for a while, and
Yeah.
suddenly they've just, for whatever reason,
gone.
They've just gone. But I've had sort of 3 or 4, haven't I? We had a few black ones, Hilda, didn't we?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but they seem to go as soon as we get them in, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As soon as we get them in, they
I
do.
think
they
there's another
they
white
go.
one coming in.
And by the
quickly.
way, just to say, if you've been waiting over a year to get one, then perhaps it's time to give BQ watches a call and pay a tiny little bit over,
Yeah.
over
You
this
can
to,
have
to,
one.
You can have
to
one.
get one. Absolutely,
Yeah.
Josh Benson's just popped off. Did anyone see the redialed Nautilus with the Tiffany dial on Chrono 24? For fuck's sake, don't think I saw that. But I would just like to give a shout out to Josh. Josh, you are a fantastic photographer. Josh has been taking all these amazing pictures for us that are not necessarily for the website at the moment, but just for sort of social. He's been doing a fantastic job. So I'd like to thank you very much for doing that for us, Josh. And when you're coming in to take some more of those gorgeous, gorgeous shots. Heavenly Mark, we're going to Zero West next week. Are you guys, Gav? That's the first I've heard of it. You're away, aren't you, Spencer?
He's going down there.
Isn't there a launch? Didn't I
is
see? You're too
Okay.
busy to even know,
I
even
haven't seen.
though you're
I'll
their
wait.
only authorised dealer.
I'll wait to see him at the London Watch Show.
Yeah,
They're going to be there.
I think they're doing a launch next week. I think I saw Paul was saying something about it as well. And if Mark knows all about it, then it's definitely kind of happening. Spencer, Polar Dial Explorer 216570 2020 box and papers for 10k. Bargain or not?
It's about the money, I think.
It's about the money. So not a bargain.
Saying that, it'll be a bargain next week because there'll be 12.
Yeah.
So it's a bargain today.
Yeah, people are bringing up all new strap lines for you, Spencer.
Are they?
Yeah, buy it today because it'll be more expensive tomorrow.
But
Del
that's
boy.
the older model. Obviously, the newer ones, the 226.
Yeah.
570.
Yeah. No, all really, really interesting. It's actually what I've noticed is we're coming up to our first anniversary. It's going to be a year since we've been.
When's that? Early
yeah,
March?
just in the start of March.
exciting.
And Paul and I are obviously planning something very special in your absence next week while you're
I look
away.
forward to it. I'm
now,
sure it'll be quite
You're
memorable.
going to be in the mountains next week, aren't
Yes,
you?
I'm going skiing. for
Yes.
weekend.
You skiing or snowboarding?
Skiing.
You're skiing.
I'm too old for snowboarding.
You're too old for snowboarding. Okay. You're going with the family, right? Okay. So just stay safe and all that sort of stuff. And you've basically given us the keys for the shop next week.
So Paul said, look, I can trust him now.
Yeah.
And he's going to be here with you two girls.
Yeah. So seeing as you're his trusted dealer, he's now going to be your trusted dealer. So basically, we pitched to you that Paul will come in next Monday night and do a takeover of the channel.
Yep.
But actually, I'm just going to drop it now and just say we're doing a total takeover of BQ for 24 hours. Okay. Every decision in the company is not going to be run past you. It's going to run past Paul and Gav.
Oh,
Okay.
I like
So
that.
I'm just letting you know.
That's interesting.
So what
good
we're
for
going
us
to do
to know.
is Paul's coming in next Monday morning. We're coming in all tooled up.
Yep.
All dressed
Yep.
up for the job, and we're running the show. We're going to update you later on in the day,
Okay.
live for the cameras,
right.
about some of the changes and improvements that we're going to make to
I
your
look forward
business.
to it.
Oh, wow.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
Clearly
You
we're
probably
gonna
close
ask
up for the day or
so
something.
We're not
So
closing up
many-
today, but Janilda, I may
So
let you
many
out
things.
for 15 minutes to get a coffee.
Wow.
It's
If you're
gonna
lucky.
It's going to be buy one, get one free
I want to
next
have
week.
a lot of breaks.
Yeah. No, we're Paul and I have so much planned that it's quite ridiculous. So anyway, please make sure that you have broadband or 5G so you can definitely come and join us.
Okay.
Next Monday evening. We might bring you into the live show. We're not sure if we're going to.
Oh, you might have to catch up.
Because you might have to catch up on catch up and just see exactly what all the right
done.
steps we've taken.
What mayhem
Matthew
we've
and
caused.
Guy says, and sorry if I got that wrong, by the way, are classic colour OP41s, black, blue and silver, undervalued versus exotic colours? Because those have gone mental. So
But
here
the
we
prices of, I'll be honest, the prices of the black, silver, and blue are also very high to what they were.
They're
Yeah,
approaching 10 now.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
about 10.
they're approaching 10s,
Yeah.
and they were like 6s
Yeah.
and 7s.
Yeah, they're about 10 now. And silvers, there doesn't seem to be any silvers anywhere.
Yeah, not many around. Or black.
Nope.
That's a comment I love to read on our channel. Lewis Cooper, love the channel, guys. Really great setup. Picked up a steel Daytona at my AD over this weekend. Very lucky.
Wow.
Well
Lewis
done.
Cooper, well done.
Congratulations.
What's your secret?
Yes.
How much
And
did you have
thank
to
you for
spend?
following.
Everybody will be piling in the comments. How much did you spend? How many watches
Was
did
it
you buy?
donuts or cupcakes?
Was it
How
donuts
long
or
have you been on the
cupcakes?
list?
What,
for-
what did you do? That's the
Yeah.
question.
Was it Starbucks or was it Costa? I need to know. Steve W., the problem I have now is that with the value of watches increasing that much, I think I've become an investor, not a watch collector. Not sure I like it.
Yeah.
It's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Well, if
It's-
you're a collector, you are an investor. You're investing in the
Well, hold on.
brand.
I'll tell you my thoughts on that. I agree, except someone who loves watches is going to stick them on their wrist and going to want to wear them. Someone who's a collector is going to admire them and stick them back in the safe.
A collector. No, the investor's going to stick them in the safe.
What did I say? Did I have the wrong
So
way
the
around?
other- So the investor, I agree, isn't going to wear them, put them in safe, just looks them as monetary.
Yeah. I thought that's
But
what I
then-
A
said.
collector will wear
some,
them.
some collectors, they don't wear them either. So,
But a collector now is an investor.
yeah.
You're doing
They're
both.
both the same thing.
Yeah.
Really?
You-
Similar.
Because a collector, regardless
Someone
if you're a
who's
collector,
not-
you're still an investor because the prices are going up. So you're still collecting.
And he
And
wants
investing
some
money.
specific watches
Frank-
that are going to go out. He
Frank
doesn't
Brennan
want
makes a
everything.
beautiful comment again. Well done, Frank. Although so many experts think of Cartier watches as jewellery items, for me, nearly all Cartier watches and vintage Cartier too are only beautiful and classy timepieces.
We
100%.
agree with
We
that.
agree.
We all agree with
We
that,
love
don't
Yeah,
we?
we love
Cartier
The one
Cartier.
thing I'd say to anyone who wants to buy Cartier, buy it pre-owned
Yeah.
because the value on. I mean, we've got a selection. I always buy the Panther. We've got a few
Tank
of the
Francais.
different,
Santas,
Yeah.
the
Tank
Benoit.
Francais.
They're a third of the value. So
Yeah.
watching Cartier that's sort of 25,000 pre-owned is 6 to 8 to 10,000.
Yeah.
So they're fantastic value. And I agree in terms of the quality of the piece for a gold. They're beautiful.
I love that.
Speaking of fantastic value, Spencer, Paul Thorpe, watch dealer, has just said, don't know about 5G. He'll need a bed to lie down after we give him the news. Paul, how much are you looking forward to this, Paul? I am so excited
He
for next.
can't stay
I feel
away,
like a
can he?
kid before Christmas. yeah. It's gonna. And by the way, obviously, we have full access to everything.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Look, I
you trust us.
I trust you and Paul. 100%.
Yeah. You trust us.
Yeah.
We need.
You're not going to do anything silly.
Not silly.
No.
It will, Paul, it will only
Never.
be Paul. It will only be sensible decisions.
I get that.
We've got the access
Look,
to the company
I get
account.
he may pay a few £100 too much for a Submariner. I get that. But I'm
But it
fine
is what
with
it
that.
is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trevor Wade, Gav, I'm very disappointed that Spencer's not wearing the Batman suit. Why else do you think I've tuned in? Don't even joke. I did consider that. I was actually considering getting him a Batman suit. But to be quite honest with you, I've been so busy. I'd just like to say something, actually. A couple of weeks ago, I asked for all your help in just subscribing to one of my company channels because I needed to do somebody a favour. I had a wedding yesterday. And there was a grandma who was 100 years old who couldn't get to the wedding. And the reason why I had to get over the sort of little subscriber number was because I wanted a broadcast, but she didn't have. I did it all. I got over 50 the subscribers and all the rest of it. She didn't have broadband, so I had to go and install mobile broadband at her house. Hold on. Then we realised her television didn't take YouTube, so I had to put a television in her house. And then I get a lovely email from Ian Nicholson yesterday afternoon, who sat and watched the wedding because he subscribed. So Ian, thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed those beautiful flowers, weren't they? And it was you and a 100-year-old grandma that enjoyed that. But thank you very much, everybody,
lovely.
for helping out with that little
Of
bit
course,
of
Gav.
yeah. Wow. Gav's going to have the power. Yes, we're all going to have the power. Paul Thorpe says, guys, I will be serving at BQ next Monday. Yes, it'll be 2016 prices next Monday. We can announce. Yep. Don't worry about that.
As long as we can buy it 2016, that's fine.
We're going to be having all new slogans, aren't we, Paul? All new slogans just for next week's show. It's going to be a lot of fun. Right. I think it's now time for questions from Instagram. Okay, kicking off this week, we have their first question that comes from Car Spotter 760 Li. Let's pop this to the girls. Will prices of Submariner bi-tone with blue dial going over roof? They suddenly cost 18.5k.
It's the same as everything, isn't it? It's the prices have gone crazy, like the same as the Yacht Masters, and it's just
And we know that the blue
Yeah, the blue is the
sub
more
has
popular,
been
yeah.
always popular.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
Yeah.
so just up and away.
Yeah.
Next question is from Watches from London. Spencer, we'll ask you this one. How safe do you feel to wear valuable watches in London?
Well, as you know, I was live last week with Paul and took a Patek out. Some people will comment it's not that sensible. I think you just got to be sensible. It's just being sensible with things.
Yeah.
I don't think that you wear a short sleeve shirt and have a very expensive watch. You wear the right thing in the right place.
Yeah.
It's a bit like taking a nice car or anything. You know, you got to be sensible with it.
Yeah.
If you're going somewhere that you feel you could be vulnerable, don't take a very expensive, but don't not wear a watch.
Yeah.
Wear something that you feel, okay, is sensible for the location and where you are.
Yep. Adam Kane says best micro brands.
And we've discussed this at length.
We have.
For me, again, of my micro non-Rolex brands, I think it would be Panerai.
Okay, well, Panerai is not a micro brand.
Why not?
No,
It is.
what's the
Panerai
micro
is
brand
not
then?
a
What?
micro
Okay,
brand.
what are you
Well,
saying?
micro. Zero West is a micro brand.
Okay.
Maybe even smaller.
So are you talking on monetary amount? I'm talking on like an Omega or...
No,
You're
we're
saying
talking
smaller than that.
we're talking smaller. Who is
I
it?
don't
You know,
know
I'm not. I mean, you couldn't. You know, this would be a question for Russell. Russell, give us an answer. Best micro brand.
Yeah,
I don't
it's
even
not
remember.
really my...
It's not. It's not your area of expertise.
Micro
is it?
brands for me, like you say, non-Rolex, are something like an Omega, a Tudor, a Panerai.
Cartier.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not... I
Yeah.
don't really handle that.
Or we're going to upset a lot of people calling those micro brands.
Well, they're micro to Rolex and Patek.
Yes,
Compared to,
compared to
yeah.
maybe. Okay, all right. Diaz says, "What's your one watch for life? Maximum budget 50k." So let's go current 50k.
So
Current 50k. Your one watch for life. What would it be?
What current RIP?
yeah.
Well, no, I
Or
think we've got to.
grey.
Well,
No,
let's go.
buying it,
Let's go
probably.
You've got to go
50k.
grey.
Girls, you could name mine. You both know mine. And you
Yes.
should as well. We've spoken about it tonight.
Smurf.
Yeah, Smurf.
Yeah.
That'll be mine.
I thought
Okay. One watch for life, 50k. Kaylee,
Probably a Daytona.
a Daytona.
Maybe like the Oyster Flex Yellow Gold Paul Newman.
Oh,
Or
so. A rose
like a
gold
rose gold
for me.
Daytona.
Yeah.
a rose gold
Like
Daytona.
the older one, obviously not a
Old
new
rose
one.
gold.
Yeah, with the chocolate dial, I think's a phenomenal
Because
watch.
it's a different case if we're saying what we
You
can
won't
buy
get
for
that
Spencer.
50 nowadays.
Well, hold on a second.
No, like
if we're talking,
2012.
if we're
Yeah.
talking list RRP, then actually our choice is
Okay.
quite big. Because, for example, how much is the gold Daytona with the green
33.
face?
Yes, I'd buy
Yeah.
that
I'd
without
have
in a
that.
heartbeat.
I'd have
Do you know
that.
what I mean? That for 50k.
would you wear an all gold watch?
different.
Yes, can I tell you? I never thought I'd wear a Rolex, ever.
then a year in, here we go.
I've bought watches. I've had watches.
the Milk
No,
House,
but I'm
yeah.
saying over the years I've had watches and I've got
But not
watches.
a Rolex.
But not
Never
Rolex.
ever did I ever think I'd buy a Rolex until I started working with you.
But do you know something? This is so weird because so many people comment on a Rolex. Oh, they're ugly, they're heavy, they're this, they're
I just
that.
thought everybody had one.
But it's
Yeah.
not until people put a Rolex on, there's something very
realise.
warming, just the nice feel, the comfort, the respect.
Yes.
It gets respect.
Yeah. Well, maybe that was the point. I wasn't grown up enough to have one.
And
That's
you-
how I
yeah.
felt about it. It feels like something my dad would wear.
Yeah. But again, just going back to the gold, I wouldn't wear yellow. I'm the white gold.
Gold, yeah.
Yeah.
Yellow
But
gold.
there is a very different
Rose.
feel,
Yellow
Gavin,
and
when
rose
you put
for
on
me
those
and
gold
Kaylee.
watches. The weight, the feel, the touch.
Yeah. We'll have to have a look at those. These Baltic watches are very classy. I'll have a look at those. James, I know you can hear me. Who is the guy I watch on TikTok with the watches who
Oh my god, I
love your
TikTok.
journey? James, what's his name? Tim something. Love your journey. I haven't actually seen one of his watches yet, but I'm intrigued to see what it looks like. Tim
And
Hayden. That's
he
it.
gives away, doesn't he?
Yeah.
James, you were telling us.
Yeah, Hadley West. Yes, I Hagley West. I liked it only because I've never seen one of his watches, but I seem to follow him on TikTok, and I do have
He
TikTok.
runs
I
around
would-
London giving them away.
Runs
doesn't he?
around anyway, giving away
I've got
watches.
the best idea for next Monday
Yeah,
with
go on.
you and Paul.
We
Well,
can
hold
do
on,
that.
No,
hold on.
there's a TikTok though. There's the TikTok that's the trend at the minute.
Yes.
That's going crazy. And I was sat there thinking the other day, I think it would be insane if we'd done it as an office.
Go on.
No, but I can't.
Oh,
tell
you can't say
I
it now?
can say, but it's the
Well-
one that's like, you must have seen it, and it's like on the telephone, and then they like spin around, and someone else comes out. You'll see it. You would have seen
Okay.
it.
Well,
But it's quite funny. I thought we could all do it like in twos.
Yeah.
we will work that out. We'll work that out. So where did we get to? The maximum budget for life? We did. We
50K.
got there.
Mm-hmm.
Peter Kerr 1. Do you see the Opie Tiffany falling?
No, it has. Sorry, it has.
Yeah.
It's fallen.
Yeah,
It's
already.
fallen.
Yeah.
Well, did it ever actually get
No,
there?
it was just
That's
a paper
it.
print. Of 40,
It was a hyped up, wasn't it? A
50,000.
hyped up lump
Yeah.
of bits and pieces.
Oh, the word again.
Oh, we give them the clue away.
Well, just in case you're wondering what could be scrolling below, even though we got 1 week to go, if you happen to email that word to thatwatchguylondon@gmail.com, you're now automatically entered into our competition to win a £4,000 Speedmaster. Can't remember what the year is or anything like that.
Speedy.
But a
Box and
Speedy, but
papers.
box and papers, and that could be winging its
Lovely
way.
watch.
We need to give a shout out to a very special young man who has sent Spencer and I a couple of books. In fact, he doesn't stop sending us stuff, which is gorgeous. But he obviously knows that I'm stuck in the 1980s, and he sent both of us this book called In the 80s, which is beautiful. A book by Derek Ridgers. This actually is Ian. He's actually on the cover of this rather beautiful book, which basically chronicles in pictures the 1980s, the sort of the punk scene, and other bits and pieces. But thank you very much, Ian, for sending that through to us.
Thank you.
I'm going to have a
Thank you for
proper look through that later, and it's going to sit right
It's
on my
lovely.
coffee table.
Yeah.
And
I
guys,
love
if
the
anyone
idea.
needs Lego, contact Ian. He runs a Lego
Yeah.
store.
Yeah, maybe we can. Maybe we can get the details of his website and a few bits and pieces.
Yeah.
I feel like that's it for another week. Spencer, you're
So I've got a week
totally. I would start worrying.
I've got you and Paul. I'm in safe hands.
Okay.
Okay, all
Okay.
right.
If you
Yeah.
think so.
Yeah.
That's what you
Girls.
think.
I'd
can't
like to say
comment.
to everybody, roll up, roll up, roll up. Next Monday is the sale of the century at BQ Watches. You want to hope that there's stock left to take to the London Watch Show. Sorry. Oh yeah, there is, but we're going to save that for next week. Yeah, we're going to save that. James just said there's an unboxing vid, but we're going to save it for next week now. Let's just get. There's a couple of quick questions just coming. Let's just get to them quickly. Mark Reynolds says, "Is it worth spending the extra money to purchase an Oyster bracelet for my 126710 BLR on Jubilee? Having two bracelet options seems like a sensible and reasonable expense."
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I would.
Yeah.
That's a really good idea.
Yeah, because you
But
don't
I
need to
think
buy
on the
both.
1-2, you can't put the Jubilee on the 1-1. But the 1-2, you can
that's
have
what he's
both
saying.
options.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He's saying same
Buy
model.
stuff.
I mean,
Well,
that-
again, if you like it.
Can I say that sounds
absolutely.
about the most sensible thing I've ever heard? I didn't even know you could do that. You can
Yeah.
buy an extra
Yeah.
bracelet.
Yeah.
How much is an extra bracelet? Roughly.
1,000, 1,200.
Okay.
So it's not, yeah.
So it's
Better
like
than
having,
having to
so it's
buy
like
this
having two
watch
watches.
again.
I
Yeah.
think
It's
they would
reasonable.
sell you one.
Yeah.
I think you could.
Yeah. Watch Gringer, another gorgeous show, gang. Thank you so
Thank
much. The
you.
best live stream of the week. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you,
tuning in. Right, Spencer, time for you to, impart those immortal words on the universe once again. We'll be changing them next week, of course. But for now, over to you.
Okay. Thank you, guys. And remember, if you haven't dealt with this yet,
No, Spence, you've lost the whole mojo.
What?
You used to say, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, follow us, share,
we've got
uptick.
400 people now. We don't want any more.
Yeah,
It's
but
enough.
there's only so many times your mum can create accounts and start liking us and adding
So,
us.
guys, don't forget, if you haven't subscribed to us yet, remember to uptick and subscribe to the show. And if you haven't dealt with this yet, it's only a matter of time.
See you later, everyone. Bye.
Bye.